Hi guys. Well, here we are. It's been a very long time since I did a video. And I just woke up this morning and decided this is what I was going to do. So, what I thought I would share with you today is my go-to easy full moon release. This one is your basic release. We're not going to get into cord cutting. But what I do want to share with you that I feel is very important is completing the energetic cycle with your release. And we're going to go into that. But before we do, I want to share with you, I always have certain tools that I use when I do my releases. So basically, the full moon comes around once a month, sometimes twice a month, and that's what makes it a supermoon like we have tonight. Just means that we've had two moons in 1 month's time. So you typically at the very beginning and typically at the very ending. So that's what indicates a supermoon. So we are supermoon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is about introspection, very much going internally to, let go of what's not serving you anymore, but what you're just really not willing to put up with in your life anymore, whether it's from yourself or people around you, creating boundaries and what have you. But I have created a releasing ritual many years ago, and I pretty much stick to the same thing unless it's a really deep releasing, and then I might go into a much longer or a more cathartic way of doing it. But I'm going to share with you just my basic way of releasing, which is very powerful still. And I wish I had a better setup, but I don't, and we're not going to wait around for a better setup or I'm never going to do it. So few of the tools that I really feel like I need to have is, number one, a candle. And these are this that I'm using is the full moon candle from Lunar Rituals that has black tourmaline and sage, and it smells really good. So I'm going to use that candle, and I always use some sage to begin with. So I sage myself and I sage my area, and I set my intention of releasing. Another tool that I typically will use is my releasing spritz. Also Lunar Rituals. We made these things for Lunar Rituals because it's something we used all the time. So we want to make it easy for you. So if you don't have sage, or you can't use sage in your apartment or around people who might be allergic or whatever, the spritz works just as well. I spritz a little into the air, inhale, set my intention. So I almost 99.9% of the time will have some type of a crystal that is deeply meaningful for the release. And when I did mine actually yesterday, and I used black kyanite to just cut this release away from me. Black kyanite is extremely cleansing and cord cutting. It's spiritually protecting, so it's a really good one to use in your releases. And up to your releases, you can keep this with you for a week or so to allow things to begin to surface. I always have a piece of paper to write the generalization of what I'm releasing, but I always journal, which is like an act of God to get me to do. So, and the next couple of things that I typically will have is my favorite mug with tea, which I usually drink an herbal tea, which is usually Lunar Ritual's signature, and that's why it became the signature. But I like to have the warmth of the tea. Occasionally I have a glass of wine when I do it, but for the most part I drink an herbal tea. And then I always allow myself to have a special treat after I'm done. And I'll go into this a little bit in a little bit more detail later. And then this would be the biggest portion of my releasing before I would go into a meditation or just releasing it. But then I would like to follow up either that night or in the morning with a bath or a shower. And if I take a bath, of course, I love our bath bombs. We make amazing bath bombs. And this one is Freedom. This is formulated just for release work. And it smells amazing. But I'm a shower person and I'm a scrub person. So we created the smudge scrub. And I've been doing this one for a really long time. And so has Erica. And I'll get into this, how to use this best in just a moment. I don't want to make this too long, but I want it to be a tool that you can come back to each month until you establish your own ritual. And that's the glory of a ritual. Make it your own. Make it a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, a little bit of your own creativity. Just do what feels right. And it doesn't have to be the same every single time. So just do what feels best for you. So to start my release work, typically for me, it starts about a week before the full moon is in all its glory. I'll start to feel nerves, fear, anxious, or old memories will start to come up. And then I know that this is okay. This is what I'm ready to release. This is what I wasn't necessarily working on, but maybe it's what my body's ready to release. So since I don't like to journal so much, and I'm very honest about that, but it is very important to do so, I will typically sit with it in my mind, which is not the best thing to do because then I create scenarios around it. And I think about it way too much. And if I would just sit down and journal it out and get it out of my head and onto paper, I could probably put it to rest until I was ready to release it. But this is the way I do things. Everyone is different. So I allow myself to think about the memory or whatever it is I'm ready to release, whether it's about myself or people in my life, or just in the world in general. And then when it comes down to releasing, doing my work that night, I'll pull out my journal and then I'll really be honest with myself. What's truth and what's scarcity? What's fear that I've entrapped inside my head from creating these stories all week? Scarcity will create a lot of drama in your head. So it's good to get it on paper because there's a lot of truth into what you see. And when you put it out there, it's like dismantling the fear. So I would suggest you start to write at least, 5-10 minutes. And maybe it doesn't take that long. And if you go into this, you're like, well, I really don't know what I need to release, but I feel like I want to do something. Then start some free writing. Start a timer on your phone and set it for 3 to 6 minutes and just start writing whatever comes to your mind. But before you do that, set an intention and ask for what you're ready to release to surface in your words. And that makes a huge difference. It makes things begin to surface that you were blocking unintentionally. So once you do your journaling, think about it for a little while. Write down the most important part of it on a small piece of paper. And once you're ready, I like to burn it. That's my way of doing it, but some people are not able to burn it. So rip it up into a bunch of small little pieces. You can flush it down the toilet. I have people that do that. But what you're going to do once you get to this point and you're ready to release, you've saged yourself, you've set your intention, you've journaled, you've lit a candle or a fire, or you're over the toilet bowl, whatever it might be. So what I want you to do is take in a few deep breaths and just really think about releasing this and how it's affected your life and how you no longer want to include it in your life. And then once you do that, here's the fun part. So I'm going to show you, because typically I would burn. So I'm going to light this little paper on fire. And I know what it says. And while it's burning, I am putting my focus in allowing the smoke to rise this from my body, from my mind, from my cells. And as it leaves, I'm thinking how I am going to flip the script, switch my words around, so that once this release is done, I'm not repeating the same thing that's in this dish. So now that I've put some concentration onto that, this is where you're going to complete the energetic cycle. I want you to imagine that all of your power that you've given to this worry, the scarcity, the fear, the trauma, is rising in the smoke. And I want you to imagine that you're placing your hands over this smoke and capturing your power and placing it back inside of you. This takes all the power that you have been giving to these words, to the actions, to how it has traumatized your life or changed your life or held you from doing what you should be doing. And as you are inhaling and taking in that power, with your exhale, you're releasing any residual energy around your release. And the next breath that comes in, you're restoring your energy. You're restoring your cells. You're repairing the tissues. You're allowing the pain to release from the body. This is creating an energetic cycle. You gave a lot of power to that for years, possibly a week. Whatever it was that you overthink, you kept yourself from doing, these things are power. These are your personal power. And you want to take those back. Because as you take those back, you are repairing this energetic connection. And what I love about this, it creates an energetic cleanse within your body so that your tissues can repair where the pain has been created. So maybe you're a person that holds the weight of the world on their shoulders and your shoulders ache like crazy. By releasing this and taking your power back, you are releasing that tension from this area. And we can go into this another time of how we trap emotions in our body and create pain, but it's real. And I'm a testament to that. And every day I'm thankful for this work that I do, because I was at a level 6, 7 of pain every single day of my life. And today I am in 0 pain. And it is all because of what I just do right here, what I just shared with you. These are simple and effective tools that starts with your intention. So after you've released, make sure you burn it completely. Some paper just does not like to burn. You might have to try a few times, but just keep taking your power back. As you see the smoke, just bring that power back into your body and repairing the tissues, repairing the cells, and letting go of the tension with your breath. So that would complete for me, other than drinking my tea and eating my little sweetie or whatever it might be. I love special dark chocolate, and that makes me happy. And I also believe that when you do this work, you need to reward yourself. That's something I didn't do for years. And once I started doing that, it made a big difference. You should congratulate yourself for doing this work. It's not easy all the time. Sometimes it can be a real easy one to let go of, and sometimes it can take you months or even years to understand that it needs to be let go. Okay, so just to talk about the bath. So I'm a water, I'm a Cancer, so most everything I do, I feel like I've really done a good cleansing when I've showered or bathed or went to the ocean. Or today it's raining, so I'm feeling like every time I look at the rain, I'm just cleansing myself even more and more. And Mother Earth is offering that to me, and I'm taking it. And the wind, it was blowing stuff out of here like crazy yesterday. So the elements are not bad for us if we use them right. So if I'm going to use a bath bomb, I will have an intention before I put it in the water to release any residual energy that is around my release. And I will sit with some music, candles, maybe a glass of wine or a cup of tea, and I will really have an intention of nourishing my body and giving gratitude for what I went through and giving props for acknowledging it and letting it go. And if I'm going to use the scrub, if there's a particular place in my body I've been holding on to this pain, I will focus on it and I will rub my scrub there and ask for it to release any residual energy that is residing in my body. So, and then as I'm washing it away, I imagine that it is removing and rinsing away anything that's left. And I want to say typically I will notice a much lighter feeling in my body within 24 hours, if not less. And journaling how you feel the next day around it is even better, because I will tell you what, when you go back and you look at your journals after doing this for 10 or so years, it's amazing at how far you've come. And with just a little bit of love to yourself and intention and guidance from the universe, you can heal any trauma and you can move through any pain. It's just wanting it and setting the intention to do so. So this is my simple releasing. I'm going to jump right into a sound bath and a meditation, but I'm going to click and make a separate link so that if you don't want to revisit how to do a ritual, you don't need to come and listen to me do all of this. You can jump right into the sound bath and the meditation. So please, I would love feedback. I would love to hear how you do your releases. If you have questions or are interested in any of the products that I've talked about, like I said, these were things that I created for myself for years and then decided to sell at Lunar Rituals. So I know they work and I know they're powerful and they're very energetic. So I will, you know where to find me. You know where to find me. And if you don't, you'll figure it out, right? I'm everywhere. So thanks for listening, and I sure hope this helps gives you guidance on creating an energetic completion to your ritual so that you don't have to keep revisiting it every single month. So lots of love and light and happy full moon, and just release the shit out of everything.